Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to tell you what I have learned from this book Memory: How to Develop, Train and Use It by William Walker Atkinson. I hope I am pronouncing the name correctly. And yeah, so let's begin with it. So this book is basically divided into two parts. As you can see inside the book as well. So here are the two parts. First part is memory, how to develop, train and use it. And the second part is about practical mental influence. So yeah, we'll start by discussing it one by one. So talking about the first part of the book, it basically deals with four things: interest, will, attention, and law of association. These four things are the key. Whatever is written in these 20 chapters of the book deals with just four things. Okay. First and foremost thing which this book discusses is that either we will have interest in something or we will willingly put efforts, only then it can be captured in our attention, in our memory, and then only it will get into our brain. So how does it work? Firstly, either we will have interest in something. Okay, so then to we will put full concentration on it, and then our attention will be on it, and then it will get into our memory. Or second case would be that we are willingly putting efforts to learn something new, then again we will put attention into it, and thus it will get into our memory. So these are the two key things which it talks about, that how we can put our attention into it and thus it will get into our memory. So second most important thing which the author talks about is the law of association. It states that unless and until we associate anything which we want to learn with something which we previously have in our memory, in our brain, it is almost impossible for us to learn anything new. What the author wants to say is that we have something already stored in our memory, right? And then if we try to associate the new thing or the new memory which we are in taking with the previous one, then only we will be able to retain it and recall it whenever we want. Suppose we know a person, suppose X, right? And if we want to uh, learn something new about that person, or if we learn something new about that person, or if that person tells us something, so how we will recall it whenever we want? It will be by associating that thing with the previous memory we have with that person X. So basically the author talks about law of association in that manner, and this is the best thing which I found about this book, that yes, when we will associate something with our previous memory, then only we will be able to retain it in our mind. Otherwise it's next to impossible to recall it whenever we want, right? So this is all which I have learned from the part 1 of this book. Now let's talk about part 2 of this book. So it states about practical mental influence, right? So let's move to it. Book 2 is about practical mental influence. One person who loves psychology will definitely love this part of this book. Okay, so basically, what this book talks about is that, like we have studied in sciences about electromagnetic induction, electrical energy, magnetic energy, like, right? So, similarly, our brain is somewhat similar to it. Like electromagnetic induction is there is mental induction also. Okay, so our mind also generates a form of energy of intensely high vibrations, like the electrical and magnetic energy, which we already know about. Similarly, our mind also generates that kind of energy. Like liver secretes bile, similarly, thoughts are also secreted by our brain. This is the thing which is basically discussed in this part of book. Basically, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So this is a quote which I find really interesting, which states that basically what a man will think in his mind, he will become what he is. And currently I have completed another book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, and I'll definitely post the review of that book also in a few coming days, right? So that book is also really very interesting. So coming back to this book, so this book also talks about black magic, white magic, hypnotic influence, and self protection from these things which we can put into effect. I will not go that depth into that depth because it will again take 5 to 10 minutes more, and I don't want to stretch this video to too long, right? So I'll definitely make a separate video on this topic. So talking in gist, what I have learned from this book is that one thing, if we want to put anything in our memory, is basically four things which we have to keep in our mind: interest, will, attention, and law of association. And whatever we want to keep into or put into our memory, we just have to associate with some previous memory which we already have in our brain. That's it, right? And from the second part, basically, like liver secretes bile, so are the thoughts secreted by our mind. And highly energetic vibrations are sent from our thoughts, so we should always keep them positive. We never know what kind of influence we are gonna put into somebody else, so we just have to be positive and try to make others also positive and keep that or build that into our attitude, and everything is gonna be fine. So I hope you guys liked my video, and do suggest me other books which I will definitely read and then give you a review. Next review I'll post about the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And bye guys, that's all from my side. I hope you liked it. Do subscribe to my channel and share it further with your friends. Thank you.